Welcome to the Stop, Drop, and Knit podcast. This is episode 28. My name is Lisa, and I am coming to you from Long Island, New York, to talk about all things knitting and spinning and dyeing, anything fiber arts related that is fun and awesome. So I hope you enjoy your time here. I have just returned to Long Island, where I am filming, from a quick little jaunt up to New Hampshire and Portland, Maine, where I have met so many wonderful knitters at yarn shops. It's been amazing. So we had a quick little road trip. So I don't really have so much finished stuff or knitting to show you guys. I didn't think I brought that much with me to work on. I felt like I was really realistic about potential knitting time and that I was going to be mostly knitting in the car, driving to places, and I did do a lot of knitting in the car, at least like on the way up there. And somehow I didn't end up even getting as much done on the things that I brought as I thought I was going to. I'm sure that many of you can probably relate to overpacking on the knitting or thinking that you're gonna have like 15 finished items over like a 3-day trip. I mean, I didn't think that, but you know, we prepare for these things because you have to be prepared. And yeah, I didn't get nearly as much progress done on my projects as I expected to. So as far as project updates and things like that, the content in those areas is probably going to be a little bit shorter this week. But as you guys know, along with road trips and visits to yarn shops comes acquisitions. So I know last week I said I'm not really doing acquisitions right now for a long while. I kind of failed to consider that we were going on a trip, and I always have to stop at the yarn shops. And New Hampshire has so many yarn shops. You guys, there are like over 20 yarn shops in New Hampshire. It is amazing. I couldn't go to all of them. That was kind of sad. But we definitely had a look at what towns all the different yarn shops were in and planned a route based on where the yarn shops were on the way to the destinations that we were going to. So I did manage to hit like one yarn shop in Maine and 3 yarn shops in New Hampshire, plus a visit to Harrisville Designs, which is going to be getting its own video because we were able to arrange to have an interview with Chic, who is the founder of the company after the founder of Harrisville Designs after the Cheshire Mill that his parents owned shut down, along with all the other mills in the area. So we all have Chic to thank for Harrisville Designs and his son Nick and his other son, whose name I don't know, and for all of the amazing yarn that they provide for us today. So that is going to be coming in its own special video, and I'm gonna save those Harrisville acquisitions for that other video because I still have plenty to show you guys. So yeah, let's jump into it. I am wearing a knitted item today, so let's jump into what am I wearing. Okay, so I thought my time wearing my knits was going to be kind of ending because it had started to get warmer, and we have an overcast day today that is no longer overcast. You guys, seriously, Owen had a half day at school today because it was his last day. My husband, Bryce, took Owen out to eat lunch so that I could film my podcast. I was like, I can get it done earlier because it is overcast and I'll have great lighting. So Bryce takes Owen out. The moment I sat down to record the podcast, the sun came out. And I've just had to wait it out. Like, I was trying to record, but everything was just so blown out on camera that it was pointless. So this is actually take 2 at recording this episode for you guys today. Bryce is still keeping Owen busy, so thank you so much, Bryce. So yeah, recording over the summer is going to require a little bit more coordination because I do try to film while Owen is in school, and he will be out for the next few months. So, all right, what am I wearing today? Well, it is a design by Caitlin Hunter. It is not the new one that I have been promising you guys because Caitlin delayed the release another week. So I'm not able to show it to you guys still. So that's that lacy summer tee that I have been working on the last few episodes. I blocked it before I went. I got my ends woven in while I was on the trip. I got some finished object pictures taken on the trip. And I cannot wear it today for this episode because the release is now next week. Soon, I promise you guys, soon. And so it just so happens that the only 2 summer knits that I have are both Caitlin Hunter designs. So this you guys have seen before. It's the Maretimo tee, and I knit this out of Plymouth Happy Feet for the Maine color, and it's called Vanilla. And I'll stand up so you guys can see. It's got some purple and brown speckles on a cream base. So this is a sock yarn, so it's wool and nylon, I think 25% nylon. This color here, I mean, I've shown you guys this before, so I'm not going to spend too much time. But this is merino. It is Madeline Tosh Light in the color Vanilla Bean. It's like a brown and purple variegated singles. And then this little periwinkle purple color is, I think it's an Anzula color. I don't know the actual color of way, but I just wanted to give you guys the yarn that I used for this tee because I know not everybody is able or willing to go access Ravelry. And I will have my project page linked below, so if you guys want to check it out on there, you can feel free to do that. This is what my whole little tee looks like. So yeah, it's like in the mid 70s here today, and it was actually kind of chilly out here when I originally sat down to do this podcast recording. But now that the sun has come out, it's kind of closer to 75, but it's still not too warm. So I was happy to be able to take out a knit for the episode today. So that is what I'm wearing. Okay, let's move on to finished objects. Okay, so I was not expecting to have any finished objects today, but when we were visiting the yarn shops, Owen found this cute little kit, and this is a little tiny kit by Mochi Mochiland Patterns, and I think her name is Anna, and I don't remember her last name, so I will insert her name at the bottom of this video. But she's the owner of Mochi Mochiland, and she's the one that makes all these really super tiny little animals and other designs like foods and animals. And I don't know, I never tried one before. I know that she has a book of all her little designs, maybe not all of them, but some of them. And I'm sure that she has a website too. Yep, it is mochimochiland.com. I'm reading it right here. So Owen picked this out and he just had to have it, and he wanted it done immediately because Owen is 6 and has no sense of, you know, he wants something now. Mommy knit this for me now. And I said, I don't know if I have the right size needles. And then we looked, and I did, because I had brought some sock yarn with me and planned to cast on socks, and that didn't happen. But I did have the needles with me, and so I was able to make this cute little frog and lily pad. So the lily pad, I made the lily pad first. I do still need to block it. I just need to wet it and let it dry so that it will lay flat. But it just has, it's got like a little slit in it, and it's just a cute little lily pad for the frog to rest on the shelf. But oh my gosh, this little guy is so cute. So the kit comes with enough yarn to make 3 frogs and 1 lily pad. I think I might even have enough yarn and stuffing to make a fourth. We will see. Owen had his last day of school today, and he wanted to give a frog to his teacher as part of her thanks for a great first grade year present. And so this is actually the second frog I made, and he's so cute. He doesn't have a name yet, but he's just so cute and adorable. I mean, look how tiny he is. Owen hasn't named him yet. I'll have to ask him what the name is. Maybe I'll get him to show him off and talk about it and have a little knitworthy segment if he's willing to do that. So he's so cute, isn't he? And yeah, he's a little hard to hold on to, so he's also kind of hoppy. But yeah, I mean, it was super simple. I used size 1 needles. You knit the white belly first, and then you attach the green and you knit up and then stuff it and close it off. And then you do the 2 little eyes, and then the arms and legs are cute little eye cords. And it was so easy. It took maybe like 45 minutes or something for the little frog. I was like watching TV and stuff too. So super quick, super simple project. It's so adorable. So a bunch of the yarn shops had like a lot of the little tiny little animals and gnomes and things knit up. So, I mean, I had known about them. I have seen these guys before. It is really noisy. There's like a dirt bike or something. Oh, wait. So I've known about all of her cute, tiny little animals before. She does like cute stop motion videos with some of her designs. It's really cute and really sweet. I've just never knit any before. So she has a book full of a handful of her designs. So I'm gonna link that below because I might have to pick that up now that I know how much Owen likes these teeny tiny little things. And it was fun, and it was easy, and it was quick. And it was just adorable. So that is my finished object for today, is this cute little frog and the lily pad. So I'll show you over here too. So Owen, he knows that I like to collect for the foraging for the natural dye, and so he found all these cute little pine cones on the trip, and so I stuck the little hedgehog in there because it kind of just matches. So he collected these for me and said, "Mommy, here, you can dye with these, I think, right?" So we'll see, maybe this will become a dye. But he actually, I did not knit this guy, but this is another little hedgehog. I'm assuming that it's probably the same designer, but I don't know for sure. This was a little thing that he found at Harrisville Designs and had to have. And usually I say, no, Mommy can make that for you, but he just loved him so much, so we let him get him. So that's the little tiny hedgehog too. And so I've just been like setting him in this little pinecone bowl because he just goes right in there, camouflage. Yeah, so that's my finished object for today. So, hi.
Hi.
What you got?
I got a hedgehog.
Where did you get the hedgehog?
I did not knit it. I got it at a store.
You got it at a store. This you got at Harrisville Designs? I can just see his butt. Where's his face? He's so cute. Does he have a name?
Hedgie.
Hedgie? Okay. What else do you have?
A frog.
Who's your frog?
Froggy.
Froggy? Can you hold him up to your face for a minute so I can see him? Is he super cute?
Yeah.
Is he so tiny?
No.
He's not tiny?
He's big.
He's big. Really?
Yeah, because 2 feet.
2 feet?
Yeah, one.
Well, how about hold it next to your 2 feet? He's 2 feet big? Really? Dude, you got a frog on your foot. Do you love him?
Yeah.
Is he really cute?
Yeah.
So that's Froggy?
No, he's got 2 feet. 1, 2.
Yeah, and 2 arms.
No.
Frog's legs.
2. No, like 1, 2.
Oh, okay. Got it. Do you love them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wiggling your booty. All right.
Hey.
Ah. All right. If you like our video,
Oh, there's more green.
well, I have to knit one more frog still. What should they do if they like our video?
Give us a thumbs up.
A thumbs up.
Give us a thumbs up.
You're too close. And what else?
Frog.
Subscribe?
Subscribe to our channel.
Okay, you guys are so cute. So should mommy make you more little teeny tiny animals?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right. Say bye-bye, Ellen.
Bye-bye, Owen.
Now we're gonna go into whips, and I'll just show you everything that I worked on in the car on the trip. So the day before we left on the trip, I finally got my Wonderland Yarns package. So a lot of you probably know by now that I am one of the brand ambassadors now for Wonderland Yarns. And so the perk of that is that they're gonna send me yarn and fiber from time to time for me to be able to knit up projects and share their yarn and fiber with you guys. So this was really exciting. They had me pick out a project that I wanted to do so that we could figure out what yarn I wanted and what quantity I needed. And so I picked out a sweater to test knit for Annie Lupton of Boho Chic Fiber Co. And so the yarn that I picked out it's 5 skeins of this. I've got 2 of them caked up because I brought 2 with me on the trip. So this is so beautiful. It is, the colorway is Kerfluffle, and it is color 191. So that's the colorway there. And this is the yarn. So I did film an unboxing video with Owen. He was a little crazy that day, but he was pretty cute. He sang this song from his show, the opening little theme song for his Alice in Wonderland Junior production that they had just put on with his theater company. He was a Cheshire Cat. So yeah, it was just kind of really fun that my start as brand ambassador with Wonderland Yarns was overlapping with his Alice in Wonderland performance. So the base is called Alice. So Alice is their DK weight base, and it is a silk merino blend. So it is 70% superwash merino and 30% silk. And it is 242 yards. And the color is just so gorgeous. Now, you're probably saying, isn't this just like that other yarn for that other sweater that you've been test knitting for Annie? You know, the one you didn't finish yet? It is very similar. That one has similar speckle colors in jewel tones. These are maybe a little bit brighter, or they're just the same colors, reading slightly differently on this base. And also the background color on the other yarn that I have, which was the Frippery colorway, was more of a blue gray. So the background color is an off-white, kind of a whitish gray. So it's not quite white, but it's not quite gray. And then it's got all those beautiful jewel tone speckles, and jewel tones are my favorite. So I've got 3 of those, and I caked up 2 so that I could get started on my sweater. And that just fell apart, so I'm gonna wind that back up. So this is what the yarn is looking like, caked up. So pretty. Here's the other one. So that's what I brought with me on the trip. And you guys, I did a swatch. I know. I don't swatch, except I thought I would, because I was really curious to see how this would knit up. And you guys, I'm glad I swatched because my gauge was off. Usually I am right on point with the needle size. I think that this was the first one I did. So I brought my swatches so that you guys could see how this knits up. So this is a sweater that's in the round. So I did my swatch in the round, so all of the strands are just hanging there. I didn't cut them, and I didn't block it and lay flat, especially the first one. I knew the gauge was too big. So look at how pretty that is. So that is how this is knitting up. But this one I did on the size 5 needles that Annie, I have a flute student who I'm going to teach in a little while. Her name is Andy, so I have Andy on the brain. Annie, her in the pattern recommended a size 5 needles. I was getting too few stitches, which meant I had to go down a needle size. So I'm glad I swatched, because I would have had a sweater that was too big. So I redid my swatch, and this is, I mean, it doesn't really look much different, pretty much the same, but my gauge is right on point now. And so the definition of the stitches is just gorgeous. Oh my goodness. So I'm really enjoying these colors. What I love about this too is once I finish the other sweater that I was working on with the color work for Annie, I still need to finish that one, but that one I had like sections of color work that I was using with some jewel tone minis, and that was all Wonderland Yarns too. And I should have extra yarn because they sent me 5 skeins. I really only needed 4, so that was so generous of them. So I think that I'm gonna have extra of this. I don't know if I'll have extra of that blue-gray base, but those same minis from the other sweater are going to go with this. So I should have enough between all of that yarn left over to like create some other kind of colorwork project with like whatever I have left over this one. So I'm really glad that all of these are going to coordinate so well, so I can get like another kind of project out of the yarn, and we'll just have to see how much I have left at that point. So yeah, so this is my Wonderland Yarns. These are my swatches that I did, and I meant to cast on for the sweater, but then I started working on my Bright Axis tee because I thought that I was going to get through like a whole whopping amount of stockinette on that. And I felt like I should have more to show for it than I do. So I'm going to get out my Bright Axis tee. I feel like it's not much of an update to show you guys. I really thought I'd have gotten several inches done on it. It's just not. It's just slow. I don't know. I probably should put a progress marker in there so that I could see my progress. So I don't know how much I had last time, but I mean, this is probably the amount that I had done before I realized that my gauge was off and ripped it all out and started again. So I had gotten this far with this particular sweater a few weeks ago, and I just realized that it was turning out super big. So I just completely started over the whole thing. I made some swatches, which I think are still in there. So yeah, I've been swatching lately, and it's actually been paying off. So, but this is the fabric that I'm getting from this hawthorn, so you can see through it a little bit. Which I think is going to be really nice. I started out on a size 5 needle as recommended by the pattern, and ultimately had to go down to a size 4. So, and I'm still getting like this nice open stitch pattern, like not a pattern, but you know, the gauge it's going to be breezy. So this is a summer tee. I feel like I just show you guys the same thing with this one every single week, but this is the Bright Axis tee is from Knit Happy with Self Striping Yarn, and this is by Stephanie Lotvin, And this, this is what it is going to look like. And so it's like a short sleeve tee. And so I am just in the solid color stockinette part, which is great. It is my mindless project right now. And then it's going to be paired with this beautiful self-striping yarn from Knitalongs. So that's going to be my Bright Axis tee. And this is a naturally dyed logwood. It's a hawthorn base from Nitpicks. And it was naturally dyed with logwood. And this is Squash Blossoms from Knitalongs. And this was a August 2020 club colorway. There's my overcast that I started with. This is what the light was looking like when I initially came out to record. It was perfection. And then the second that I sat down, it was sunny and directly here on me. So frustrating. So anyway, so yeah, I mean, not as much knitting. Like I brought my extra skein of this with me. I didn't remember to cake it up, but I thought for sure I was gonna have gotten through this whole first cake of yarn on the trip. Nope, I just didn't. Probably if I hadn't swatched for the other sweater, then I would have, because that was what I did first, is that I swatched, and then this was kind of my like stop and go, like in between little stops that we were making, get out and work on it here and work on it there. From Long Island, it was only about 4.5, 5 hour drive up to where we were going. So it's not like it was a huge long amount of time in the car so I don't know. I just really hoped that I would have like this much done. Yeah, so you guys are going to be seeing this one, I think, for quite a long time. But yeah, so that's the Bright Axis tee update. Let's see, the only other, I do have two. All right, so I have two things to update you guys on. So another project that I thought I was going to start on the trip and didn't, I wanted to go ahead and show you the yarn. I thought I would start another pair of socks because it's been a while now since I've had socks on the needles. I think about a month. And I had this yarn in my stash, and it is, I need to wind it back up. All right, so this was a purchase I made on a job audition a few years ago. The company is HBFC, which stands for the Humble Bumble Fibers Co. And this color is Fireflies. So the Humble Bumble Fibers Co. And it is a sock yarn, so it's 400 grams, no, 400 yards, 100 grams, 80% merino, 20% nylon. And I took a picture of what the skein looked like when I unraveled it because I wanted you guys to see. So I'm gonna insert that because you can't tell from the cake. It's like half of the skein on one side is like a solid purple, and then it has the yellow sections only on like one half of it. So it's so fun. It's called Fireflies, and it's like a really, really deep purple with this neon yellow specks, and it came with a highlighter yellow mini for heels and toes. So I have been wanting to knit this one up and see what this is gonna look like, and so I finally caked it up, and then I didn't start it. So hopefully I will get that cast on soon. The last thing I have to update you guys on is the Pinecone yarn. So speaking of all these little pine cones, these are like tiny miniature pine cones, and I have no idea what tree these were from. These were from outside of Green Mountain Spinnery. We made a quick little stop on the way home in Putney to say hi to the people there. And so I had dyed this yarn with pine cones, and I was knitting a swatch because I was contemplating knitting a sweater, another test knit for Annie Lupton. And part of the reason that I was doing the swatch was because I just wasn't sure about whether this yarn was going to basically make me look naked because it is very close to my skin tone. And so I wanted to talk about it last week. I wanted to get all of your opinion on it. Plus, I wanted to see for myself, like on camera, what the color actually looked like against my skin tone so that I could make a more informed decision. So I had already seen the footage because I had obviously edited the podcast. So I had already, by the time I heard from you guys, determined that it was not going to work as a solid colored sweater. It was going to be a pullover, so it was not going to be like a cardigan that I would be wearing on top of another color. I think the color is really beautiful, and I think if I pair it with some other colors in either colorworks or stripes or something, then I think that I can make this work for a garment for myself. But I think the overwhelming majority was, you will regret turning this into a sweater for yourself because it's just too close to your skin tone. This would be gorgeous on somebody with dark skin. Oh my God, this color. It's like got a hint of peachy pink to it. So it's like a kind of like a beige. Like it's not brown. It's kind of like a nude color, which is why it's not going to work on me. Yeah, so I will still need to figure out what yarn I'm going to use for that other test knit. I'm going to have to dig in my stash and make some more swatches and see where I'm going to go. But I never bothered finishing the swatch because I had decided not to go forward with the project. And since I knew I was not going to go forward with the project, there was no point in finishing the swatch. I'm just going to undo it, unravel it, and find a different yarn. So thank you for everybody who weighed in and made that decision pretty obvious for me. I guess I have like a little bit of spinning that I can update you guys on. So I'll show you the little bit of spinning progress that I made. Okay. So again, I brought my spinning with me on vacation, hoping to get through the rest of this section of the wool top that I have. So this is a Polworth wool, and this is Frabjous fibers, which is the fiber part of Wonderland Yarns. And so I had this fiber deep in my stash from a previous trip to the Vermont area. They are based in Brattleboro, and I'm actually going to be swinging by to chat with them next month for you guys. So that will be fun. So this is a Polworth, and the colorway is Iris, and it is so gorgeous. It is a dream to spin. It is amazing. So I was hoping to have more done, but last time I showed you, I had divided it into 4 sections, and so this was my first of 4 singles, and it's so pretty. I think my spinning is getting so much more even and consistent. And then this is where I am at now with the second one. So I am in the middle of a big purple section, and then will be some more green. And yeah, so I'm about halfway through the second section. I was hoping to get that finished on vacation, but I didn't even touch it at all. But it is so gorgeous. And a lot of you know purple is my favorite color. So this is making me super happy. Yeah, but that's just a little bit of spinning update. So I'm gonna tell you guys about the jars next. So let's super quick go into natural dyeing. Owen is so adorable, and I even found he had put this on the table. He goes to the bus stop now and he's like, look, I found this tiny little bit of lichen, and he has found some really big chunks of lichen. The kid is on the constant lookout for me for lichen and oak galls and like these pine cones. I have got this kid foraging for me for natural dye material. It's amazing. So I'm hoping that we get to do a lot of that together this summer. I'm planning to take Owen all over the place to try to find things to dye yarn with naturally. Yeah, so he has been, this is mostly Owen finding things for me. I've already got like half a jar full over here. And so when I get this filled up more, I will be filling it halfway with ammonia, halfway with water, and we are going to be getting something like this. Let me close this up now. I've had this open for the episode. Once a week, you're supposed to open the jar and let some oxygen in so that it can oxidize. But once a day, I gotta close this up. So what you do after you've got the ammonia and water in there is just once a day you give it a good shake. And I've already done that, but you can see how dark it's been getting. I will give it another good shake here just so you guys can see, because now it's got the oxygen in there, so you maybe can see like the reddish bubbles in there, and now it's all over my hands. So it's looking like that. I'm gonna wash my hands in a second here before I show you my acquisitions. But yeah, this is supposed to turn purple. I don't know why my jar doesn't seal all the way. It's just leaking. I don't know. I should be able to shake it without getting it everywhere though. But yeah, so, oh, it almost looks like blood. Check that out, like on my finger there. Can you guys see? It's like a reddish now. It's like a reddish brown. So if I let it sit for longer, I think the goal is anywhere between like 3 and 6 months, we're supposed to get a pretty amazing purple. My favorite. All from this in an ammonia water mixture. Just letting it sit for months and months and months. So yeah, every time I come out here to podcast, I'm just showing you guys the update on the jar. So I don't even remember. It's definitely been 3 weeks at least. It maybe has been a month, or we're getting close to it being a month. So yeah, probably I think sometime in September we'll be hitting that like 3-month mark. So that's the point where we might start seeing a purple. So yeah, so that's the update with that. And now I am ready to go on to acquisitions. This is a pretty decent sized haul from my visit to the New Hampshire, a handful of New Hampshire yarn shops and Nitwit up in Portland, Maine. So I know not everybody is interested in seeing acquisitions. And if you're one of those people, then thank you for joining me up until this point. I hope that you enjoyed the very small updates that I have made this week on my projects. Hopefully I'll have some more significant progress to show you guys in the next episode now that I am back in town and back on a regular knitting schedule. Yeah, so if you guys enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up, and if you're not already subscribed, I'd appreciate the subscription and your continued support. Thank you so much. And now we're gonna go check out everything I bought on the trip. Acquisitions time! All right, my favorite part of going on vacation is honestly checking out the yarn shops. It's something we've been doing for years. We also like to check out craft breweries, but Bryce and I are both really big into craft beer, and checking out the breweries and yarn shops on our road trips is just something that both of us really like to do. It's a little hard with Owen because they're not exactly as exciting for him, but it's mommy and daddy's thing, and we just love it so much. So I have acquisitions to share with you guys. I also have a really big bag that is just from Harrisville Designs that I am saving for my Harrisville video because this is plenty to show you guys already. So let's see where to begin. I'm just gonna go in order of the stops that we made. So, all right, I've got my little sheet that I wrote down the names of everybody who worked there. I was seriously so happy to meet all of you guys. Everybody was so super nice. I'm just trying to figure out, all right, so here's the card. All right, the very first stop we made. So we came up from Long Island and we drove through the Brattleboro area of Vermont. Usually we'll stop to eat there when we are visiting Vermont and hang out. There's a cute little restaurant there and the bridge over to New Hampshire. This time we went a little bit further and we were just cutting through to New Hampshire because we were staying in New Hampshire and not Vermont. So I waved at Wonderland Yarns from Brattleboro. I said, I'll see you guys next month, but hey. And we stopped at this cute little town called Keene, New Hampshire. We had no idea what was going to be there. Bryce was just like, hey, look up and see what looks interesting in Keene. And it turned out to be an adorable town. Exactly the kind of town that Bryce and I really enjoy visiting. So I don't know if any of you guys are from Keene, but we really like your town. So it was so cute and it was really great. And so there was this store there. It wasn't a yarn shop. They do have a yarn shop in Keene, but we were coming through on Sunday night, and so they were closed Sunday and also Monday. So I actually did not get to check out the yarn shop in Keene. So that'll be on the list for a future visit to New Hampshire. You guys, there's like 20-something yarn shops in New Hampshire. It is crazy. So one of these days I'm gonna have to like get up to New Hampshire and do a serious what is a crawl? That's the word I'm looking for, like a New Hampshire yarn crawl, and just go to like every single shop. I think there's honestly too many to do that. Have to be broken down into little bits. Okay, so anyway, so we found this little gift shop and it is called Hannah Grimes Marketplace. And so they had a few skeins of yarn there. And so I picked up this beautiful color. It is called the Shearers Yarn, and Gwen Hinman is the person who made this yarn. And so I thought that that was just a cute little souvenir. It's a worsted weight. Let's see, so she is located in Ackworth, New Hampshire. So I thought, you know, I'll pick up a skein. It's a beautiful color. It's local to New Hampshire. So it says it's processed, the yarn is processed in Canada for the Shearers Yarn. So I'm thinking that probably maybe these are her sheep. And I'm not really sure, but I'm gonna have to look it up on Google or Facebook or something and see if I can learn more about it when I'm ready to knit it up. But there are 272 yards, and it is Meadow is the name of the color. And so that was just the first thing that I got. I found it just at a little gift shop in Keene, New Hampshire, and thought that that would make a really nice little local souvenir. So I'm guessing that like she has a farm and those are probably her sheep. I don't like 100% know, but I mean, she's called the Shearers Yarn. So if you guys have heard of Gwen, let me know about her. So I'm gonna have to do some research, but it's 100% pure wool, and this is a 2-ply, and this color, there's some variation in color here. So I don't know if she dyes it, if it's from her sheep. I've got to find out what the deal is with it, but I thought it was beautiful, and so I'm adding that to my collection, to my stash. What words am I using today? All right. And then, all right, so that was that one. Put this little business card in here. And so that was Sunday night when we first got into town. So then Monday, the weather in New Hampshire was like crazy hot. Exactly. It was crazy hot. And so we decided that that would be the ideal day to drive up to Portland, Maine. And so we took a really cute little train ride. Seriously? Seriously? Why do we have to be so noisy? The birds are so sweet, aren't they? Yeah, so we, there was some kind of railroad thing. I'll have to get the name of it, but we got to take a little train down along the water, and Owen loved that. That was really fun for him. Oh, that bird is so sweet. And then we went to Shipyard Brewery, so that was really fun. That was a Bryce and Lisa thing. And then we went to Nitwit Yarn Shop. And so I got some yarn from Nitwit. And so what I got from Nitwit was their own yarn. I really wish that motor would stop. So I picked up some yarn from Nitwit Yarn Shop where I got to meet Chuck. I think his name is Chuck, right? Chuck Fleck and his wife Jennifer have the yarn shop, and Jennifer, I guess, has a podcast. I will put that information below the video, but if you go to check out nitwitportland.com, I think is the website, or just Google Nitwit Portland, they definitely have a link to their podcast there. So I'm excited to check out that podcast. But yeah, so Nitwit is right in downtown Portland, and so they have their own brand of yarn that they have dyed for them. And so I picked up these two colors, and I chose my colors, not the purples that I usually get. I definitely picked those up too, but I chose my colors based on the colorway names, as one does, right? So the first one I picked out was this beautiful color, and this one is called Leaf Peepers, right? Can't you see it? Leaf Peepers. Perfect. So that was the first one that I saw. And so this is sock weight yarn. They also, I think, have a worsted weight yarn, but this one is sock. It's 70% fine merino, 20% cashmere, and 10% nylon, and it's 460 yards. So I thought this would make a beautiful shawl, right? It was so pretty. And then, so this would be really nice for something for autumn, like a shawl, an autumn shawl. And then the other color that I got, the colorway is called Lobster Roll, right? Because the lobster up in Maine. So it's so pretty. Look at those colors. So I don't know if this will be socks or maybe a shawl project, but yeah. And this is the same. So this is actually a different base. It's 80% merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon, and it's 435 yards. So that was my souvenir yarn from Nitwit in Portland, Maine. So I'm really excited about both of these colorways, and I just love the names. Everybody should come up with awesome colorways. I wish the big companies would do that too, instead of calling it like number 16, number 5, you know? Like, who wants to buy a color called number 5? No, you want to buy something called Leaf Peepers and Lobster Roll. So the bigger companies need to get with it, I think, because the hand-dyed yarn names are amazing. Anyway, so that was Maine. And let's see what else he threw in here. He did throw in something else. And I got some pictures. Let me see. I've got his card. What is the podcast? Is Maine Yarn Podcast. So that's the card for their podcast, if you guys want to check that out. And then they also threw in something blue. So I want to see what these are. I don't know exactly what it is. I don't know what it is. There's a bunch of them actually. I don't really know what it is. Does anybody know what it is? I have to see. It looks like a piece of fabric and it opens. I don't know what it is. I have no idea what it is. But it has their logo on it and he put in quite a few. So, I wonder what it is. No idea. But that was really generous. I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. He gave me 5 of them. So does anybody know what it is? Is it like a, is it a Maine thing? It's not a t-shirt. They had some really cute t-shirts there. But it's just like a piece of fabric with the logo. And it's like, I can like put my whole arm through it. What is this? Anyway, I have 5 of them and it was really generous of him to throw those in. I only wish I knew what it was. I don't know, I've never seen anything like it before. No idea. Somebody enlighten me, please. Please tell me what it is that I got. Okay, so that was my visit to the Nitwit Yarn Shop. Nitwit was fabulous. They had a whole bunch of like local yarns from like the bigger companies like Quince & Co. I think it's the first, like their flagship store is at Nitwit. So they have a lot of Quince & Co. there. I found a lot of Wonderland Yarns there, which is local in terms of it being like a Northeast yarn. Because they're in Vermont. So there was Wonderland Yarns, there was a lot of Quince & Co. and they had a lot of their own brands and they just had a really nice selection of amazing yarns. It was like this really, really narrow shop, but it was really well stocked and they were really nice there. So I definitely enjoyed my visit to Nitwit. So the next day on Tuesday, we drove, when we were coming back from Portland, Maine, we drove through Portsmouth, New Hampshire, which is right across the border at the top of Maine, right across from Kittery, sorry, I always want to put an L in there. So there's Kittery, Maine, and then right across the bridge is Portsmouth. And we were driving through there, and it was at night, so we wanted to go back on Tuesday. So what we did was we had planned out then a route to hit a few yarn shops on our drive from where we were staying all over across to Portsmouth so that we could hit a few shops along the way there. And so the first shop that we stopped at was Elegant You Fiber Arts and Gifts in Concord, New Hampshire. And that shop was amazing for especially like really rustic yarns for color work, Icelandic wool. They had a lot of Letlopi, Jameson and Smith, Marie Wallen. So like that kind of yarn was widely available there. They also had, I mean, it was a really nicely sized shop. It was really big. They had a lot of variety in terms of like yarn company yarn, not like indie dyers. So they had like Fiber Co. I don't know, they had Barocco, they had Cascade, they had, you know, like all the typical stuff, but the assortment of rustic wool that they had there was amazing. So that would be a place that I would definitely visit if I were planning out like an Icelandic yoke sweater or something that was a lot of color work. They just had wonderful options for that. I didn't end up getting any yarn there, but what I did find there was this bag of natural fiber. So this is Corriedale, and it is a multicolored version of fiber. I'm gonna open it up. I haven't opened it yet, but I don't know how many ounces it is. But Marcy Richardson, this is her business card. This is from the owner at Elegant U, and that's her card. And so this is 100% Corriedale, but it's like three different colors of the natural sheep. So it's got a dark brown, a lighter tan, and then a natural color. So I thought that that would be really fun to spin up. I have no idea what the quantity is, but it's pretty generous size bag. So I would say that there might be like maybe 8 ounces in here, which is a really, really good amount. So that was the only thing I picked up from there. I was trying to behave because I knew Harrisville was going to be on the trip, and I knew that I still had 2 other yarn shops to go, and I was trying not to go like too out of control. But the next yarn shop was probably the cutest yarn shop that I have ever seen in my entire life, and that is called Smitten Yarn Co. in Rochester, New Hampshire. And Dawn and her daughter have this adorable Victorian house, and they turned like the bottom level of it into a yarn shop. And it is so cute. It is so well laid out. It is totally opposite of the Elegant U in terms of the type of yarn that they carry. So while the Elegant U was full of all of these rustic standard company yarns and wonderful yarns, I love to knit with all of those yarns, Smitten was like really hardcore indie dyed yarn, and it was amazing. So they had, I gotta find it because I mixed my bags together for my trips. I just want to get it all sorted out. Okay, so Smitten has their own, like Dawn hand dyes. She is an indie dyer, so she had a lot of her own yarn in the shop, which was gorgeous. And then, so I didn't actually pick up any of that, but it was beautiful, and Dawn was so nice. But she carried a whole lot of yarn from Sugar Plum Circus, and I had never heard of Sugar Plum Circus before. And so Dawn said that it's a company out in Washington, and that they've been in business for a super, super long time. So I saw this color. She had it in a kit to sell for like the Sorel spring sweater, and I really liked it. I decided to just get the skeins of yarn because I know I'm not going to be knitting it right away, and I'll just buy the pattern later. I didn't need like a printout of the pattern because I'll just have it on my phone. So I was gonna get a digital version of the pattern, so I decided to just get these as 3 separate skeins. The colorway is called Dreamsicle. It is so pretty. So it's a little bit different from what I usually pick out. And, you know, just having it in mind for the spring sorrel, which is a pattern that has been kind of on my radar. The regular sorrel, the long sleeve version, I haven't knit up yet either, but that has definitely been on my radar. So this is a merino DK. It's 100% superwash merino, and each skein is 231 yards. So the 3 skeins should be enough for me to get a size small or medium sweater for the spring sorrel. I think 3 skeins is about what you need for that. So hopefully I won't need 4. I think 3 is gonna be good. So I picked up that, so pretty. And all right, you guys, where are my Harry Potter fans? Where is everybody who is joining me on the Knitalong? because I found a couple fun prizes for the Harry Potter Knitalong. So I got a set of these for me and a set for somebody in the Knitalong. And Owen spied this Harry Potter tape measure. So I picked up one for him. He really begged me for the tape measure. We got one for him, and I picked up one for a Knitalong prize. So this says Hogwarts on it, and yeah, so it's got like that symbol on it. So it's a nice little Harry Potter tape measure. We all can use tape measures. And then I got Fangirl Fibers stitch markers. They're kind of similar to what you see from Trinkles, but they're a little bit different. These are more like shaped like little gift tags, like that. So I want to show you guys. So I picked up one set for me, for my Harry Potter knitting, for my stitch markers, and one set for a Knitalong prize. So let's see, there's this one. It says Hogwarts, and then the next one is glasses, and then a 9 3/4, and then the Hogwarts emblem, and then this one says Muggle. That is the sorting hat, and swish. So something like swish and flick on that one, and a couple more. I don't understand this one yet. It says Knox. I don't understand that one yet. This one says I love Muggles, and I think there's one more, and then that one is Hogwarts right there. So I saw these there, thought it would be super cute for a prize for the Knitalong. So the tape measure and these stitch markers, I'm setting aside an extra one for all of you guys who join in on that. So that was my haul from Smitten Yarn Co. You guys, that was the cutest shop ever. I mean, the Victorian house, like, so it had just a nice vibe to it. Dawn was so sweet. She and her daughter Callie run the shop, and oh my gosh, so much beautiful yarn. They also had a lot of Wonderland yarns there. I don't remember what else. I know that they had a lot of her own label there, her Smitten yarn from her own business. She had a lot of the sugar plum yarn that I picked up. And then she had just a lot of really cute gifts, like from whatever type of things are really trending at the time. Oh, that's where I got, that's also where I got this little frog kit. So she had several little Mochi Mochi kits, and she had some fiber. She just had, it was amazing. If you love hand-dyed yarn, indie-dyed yarn, and like some trendy little gift stuff, that is the place to go in New Hampshire. You will love it. They were great. The whole vibe of the place was adorable. I just loved it so much. And then the next yarn shop I also loved so much. They had so much great yarn there too. So the next place we went to, and this is the last one that I'm going to share for this video, was Spinning Yarns in Dover, New Hampshire. And I met Margot there, and she was so sweet. And we also discovered that Owen loves Where's Waldo. He had never done Where's Waldo before. He has done lots of search and find type books, like the highlights versions, like where the hidden pictures, and you have like the stickers and you match the sticker when you find the hidden picture. But he had never done Where's Waldo. And so thank you, Margot, for having a Where's Waldo book there, because we needed to keep him busy. He was like 3 yarn shops for the kid in one day. Not his favorite thing, I'll just say that. But he still had fun. I mean, he got a Harry Potter tape measure, and he got a little frog, and he loves looking at all of it. He was just getting a little bit like, come on, Mom, I want to go to the toy store now, you know? All right, so when I was at Spinning Yarns, I was seeking out local yarns. And so the first thing that I found was Wonderland Yarn, and this is breed specific from New England flocks. And so this is fingering weight yarn. I got 2 of these because the yardage in each is just 220 yards of fingering weight. So I figured usually fingering weight skein is like 450 yards about, so that would give me like an equivalent of 1 typical fingering weight skein. So let's see, Wonderland Yarns is in Irisburg, Vermont. So it's not New Hampshire, but it's really local, and I love Vermont, so that's cool. And this one is Romney wool, so it's 100% wool. Each is 50 grams of fingering weight yarn, and the color of this one, let's see, it says it's Scuttleship Romney Fingering, but that wasn't the name. Oh yeah, that was the name of this one. So the colorway is Scuttleship. I'm thinking of the next one for the colorway. So I just thought that this was really beautiful, completely my colors. I love breed specific yarns. I love learning about how the different breeds knit up and what the fiber knits up into looking like. And I just thought that these colors were so gorgeous, so me. I don't know what I'm gonna make with it, but I'm excited about it. So that is Wonderland Yarns. I can't remember if I already held up the label or not. So that's their little logo. And I'm really excited about this one. So this is Romney. And then the last skein of yarn that I have to show you today is, yeah, that's what I was thinking of, is the color of this is called Rhododendron. And this is by Birch Dye Works, who is a local dyer from Lee, New Hampshire. And so that is her label. I think it's a she. Well, that is their label because I'm not sure. And so this is hand dyed in New Hampshire. This one is Rhododendron is the color. It's sock yarn. It's 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and it's 400 yards. And the colorway is Rhododendron. And so almost similar, kind of similar to this one. Like I had like colors there that I really liked a lot, but they're totally different fibers. So yeah, I thought this one was so pretty too. There's some more like neon pinks and purples in there, but it's got like a pretty bare base and just like different sections of speckles in there. So I'm really excited to check out Birch Dye Works. Yeah, so that was my New England, New Hampshire, Maine haul, not including Harrisville Designs, which I got a big bag from there too. So that I will show you guys in my next video. I just had a great few days. Thank you to everybody that I met at the yarn shops. You guys were all the best. You were so sweet with my son and my husband and I just loved meeting you all. So hi to everybody that I met. Hi to everybody who has been with me since I've been doing this in November. I am having the best time. I appreciate all of you so much, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.